Ladies and gentlemen, council members, and city officials, and also our home audience, I'd like to welcome you to the June 11th City Council meeting. We do have 5 items on our agenda this evening. If you would, Mr. Fawson, would you please continue with the roll call of members?
Corcoran.
Here.
Fairchild.
Here.
Florima.
Here.
Hines.
Here.
Kearney.
Here.
Neal.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Kroll.
Here.
Tatman.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, we have a special guest this evening, Oscar Micus from Troop 14, that is going to come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Oscar. Continuing, the minutes of the previous meeting have been distributed for review. At this time, do we have a motion to accept those minutes as they are? From Mr. Florima, seconded by Mr. Hines. Roll call on that motion to accept our minutes.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Fairchild.
Yes.
Florima.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Fawson. At this time, we have reports of our committees. If I can, I'm going to try to get this camera to cooperate with me. Who would like to start with reports? Ms. Neal?
Thank you, President Arnold. Development Committee has no items tonight on the agenda. We do have 2 outstanding assignments. It's 17029, and that was the legislation to update the mobile truck ordinance and to establish food truck ordinances. This has been in the Law Director's office since April 24th, and I had some feedback from them that what we submitted was unenforceable. So I have asked the Law Director's office to meet with our committee and try to work out the problems that we're having and come up with a form of resolution that would be enforceable. I have not heard back. Second item I have is the lease of land to the Ohio National Guard, and that has been at the Law Director's office since April 16th. And again, I've made a few contacts and have not gotten any feedback from the Law Director's office, so I'm hoping maybe tonight in the report we'll hear a way forward to get through this. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Neal. Next, Mr. Hines.
Thank you, President Arnold. City Services has no items on the agenda tonight, but we do have a new assignment that was given to us. And so I'd like to schedule a City Services committee meeting for next Monday at 6:30. I could. And that's a request for legislation to appropriate $15,000 for 2 or 3 different air conditioning and HVAC problems in the city buildings. And that's all I have.
What's the deal? Thank you, Mr. Hines.
18056.
Camera's not cooperating, so it doesn't matter. But, Mr. Tatler,
Thank you, President Arnold.
you're welcome.
Engineering Committee has 3 items on tonight, and the first item is for 3rd reading. And I want everybody to really pay attention. There is, Patrick has made an objection to this, but I've gone over the legislation, and this is a parcel of land that they're requesting that we let them have the right-of-way easement on 497 North High Street. And after reading the legislation, the city at any time, if we approve this tonight, has the right to take this back if needed, because there was concern about maybe Chillicothe Boulevard being made a 4-lane expressway or something, I'm not sure. But anyhow, pay attention. I'm sure Patrick will bring it up again tonight. Pay attention to what she has to say. But I feel we don't have a problem with this if the city needs that land back. Also, I have number 2, second reading. And this is permanent signs and codified ordinances of the city of Chillicothe to be amended. And number 3, second reading. Approve the action of the Planning Commission for the City of Chillicothe rezoning property located at 456 Western Avenue. Now, we'll read this tonight, but this still has to have a public hearing. So on the third reading, we'll have to not read twice, I believe, to catch up with the 30 days to allow the time for the public meeting. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Patrick. Any other reports? Yes, Ms. Patrick.
Thank you, President Arnold. On the agenda, item number 4, it's the first reading of an ordinance appropriating $29,290 for a new pump and motor for well number 22 of the water plant. It was during the scheduled rehab of the well that it was discovered that while usable, the existing pump and motor had lost their efficiency. According to the paperwork provided with this request, the pump and the motor are close to 25 years, not the 10 years that the utilities director had mentioned. The pump was rebuilt in 2012, and we were given 3 options by the pump repair company. One was to rebuild the existing pump for $11,500. The second one was to replace the pump for $19,217, and the third one was to just install a new pump and motor for $29,290. There was a recommendation of the utilities director to go with option number 3, and the utilities committee has agreed with him. So that this well can be placed back into service as soon as possible at the appropriate time, I will ask to waive the 3-reading rule. I would also like to mention the nuisance abatement board meeting is tomorrow at 2:30 in the admin building's first floor conference room. Currently, there are 51 properties on the service department no list because of nuisance issues. There are 861 properties on the nuisance abatement spreadsheet that are actively being checked for compliance. And 120 property owners had been sent letters from the nuisance abatement board in the past 30 days. That's just the past 30 days, 120 letters, just trying to get their properties, the nuisance issue abated. And I would also like to ask the residents to please take part in the large item pickup, which now is in its 2nd week. And that means if you have Tuesday trash pickup, this is the week that they'll pick up your large item. The electronics and tire recycling event will be at Ross County Fairgrounds, and it's this Saturday, the 16th, between 8 and noon. And the first 5 passenger truck tires, or passenger car tires, are free. So I see a lot of tires that have been put in with large items. The city will not take them, so now's your chance to get rid of them for free.
So how many go for free? First?
5.
Really?
5, yep. And Councilman Tapman did mention his, or my concern with assignment number, ordinance number 1, and this is to resolve the encroachment that is currently existing. And my concern is we have a zoning code which specifically states that no garage can be on a vacant lot. It just flat out can't, and this one actually encroaches. I'm sure the neighbor next door is the one that's going to buy it, and it'll be rental property. And to me, we should have dealt with this now. I commend the law director. I read her, she called it an easement and indemnification agreement, Exhibit C. And it does, like Mr. Fossen had said, it covers everything so the city can get it back. But my concern is we should deal with these things now, not pass them further on down the line. Because, you know, in 10 years, I probably won't be around. You know, I don't plan on being here in council. Clarify that. If we pass these things and we don't set it up so that the next council has the knowledge, and that's my concern. You know, this is something we could very easily have dealt with. Just ask them to, you know, remove the part that encroaches, and you know, then sell your property. But that's the reason I'm going to vote no on this. So.
I would agree with you, Pat, and also, if they put more money into that structure,
over the next few years, and then we would need to take it back, it's more damaging to whoever possesses it.
That was my concern, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Patrick. Any other reports? Not seeing any other reports from our committees. We move on to reports of our officials. Mayor Feeney.
Thank you, President Arnold. I can find a comment.
No,
I'll comment on
go
it.
ahead, you comment, we've talked about it.
This is the appropriation for the Millennium Grove Shelter is part of a grant that we received. And the work was done, I believe, in consecutive years last year and this year. The work is now done. We can now be fully reimbursed for the work. And so to the extent that this is essentially us paying the final bill, and then we will be reimbursed through the grantor.
NatureWorks.
Yeah, NatureWorks. We are the grantee, NatureWorks is the grantor. I think it would be good to get the contractor paid. So on item 5, I think I would respectfully ask council to waive the 3 rules to pay that money so we can get our reimbursement. That's the new Millennium Grove Shelter.
Yeah, it was just really an accounting item. It wasn't brought forward in this budget. It was a $65,285 was the grant. $49,355 is what we will be reimbursed. So, and this is just the final part. So I will ask to waive the 3-read rule at the appropriate time.
On item 4, I would support Councilwoman Patrick's request also for waiver of the 3-read rule. Although it's not on the agenda tonight, and it's actually not on the agenda Wednesday at the Planning Commission meeting, I want to make sure that everybody's well aware that there will be a Planning Commission meeting this Wednesday, June 13th at 3 p.m. That meeting will be in this building. However, the issue regarding the rezoning of 989 Western Avenue will not be on the agenda. The property owners have requested that not be heard. The applicants, who are also the property owners, have asked that item not be heard. So that's the topic of 989 Western Avenue rezoning will not be on the Planning Commission agenda this Wednesday. The meeting will go forward with the other agenda items, and we will have some space to do that in this room. A couple other items of note. The 4th of July is rapidly approaching. Fireworks will be on the 4th of July, as is the tradition in the city of Chillicothe. That falls on a Wednesday this year. That's Wednesday, the 4th of July. We are soliciting fireworks donations. We have a letter that goes out. Parks and Recreation Department does their best to bring that money in for what I think is a very impressive show, and usually just a pretty fun day in the city. City pool party, all those other things. So please reach out to either Clint or Bill in the Parks and Recreation Department if you have questions about a variety of things that are available that day. And finally, on an also park-related note, we have a new fountain in the Park Lake, and it is beautiful. I think it's just really nice looking. And combined with the aerators, the health of the lake is strong right now. We are dealing with a type of weed apparently that is natural or comes with our geese and our ducks. Bring weeds from out of town apparently. But other than that, I would strongly encourage you to head down and check out that new fountain if you haven't seen it yet. It's really neat. We're working out some of the kinks, and it'll have to be down as we deal with that weed issue from time to time. But it will have lighting capabilities and that sort of thing. So maybe we'll get some red, white, and blue going on 4th of July and that kind of thing. But between that and, there's the new recycling bins that we got the grant for down in the park, the new depositories from Little Blessings for fish lines and hooks. The park is just, I think, in really good shape right now. That's thanks to a lot of people, Tree Commission, Parks and Recreation, and really just a lot of citizens who take their time to walk through, pick up trash, and take good care of that park. So thank you to everybody who's played a part, and take a minute on your lunch break or whatever it might be to stroll through or drive through and check out the park. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that very much. And now we move to our auditor, Ms. Spetnagle.
I do not have anything to report tonight.
Okay. And we move to our law director, Ms. Rutherford.
Thank you, President Arnold. I don't have anything that I wish to bring to the attention of all of council, but I did check, and I would remind you, Mrs. Neal, that we did respond to your request for your, to meet with your committee, and we will be continuing to address that issue as we go forward.
I've not
Thank
seen
you.
that response, but thank you.
I just checked with Teresa, and she said she did. Sorry I couldn't be there Friday night at 6. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Actually, I don't have anything to announce as far as that's concerned. Camera's still messing up, folks. I appreciate your patience on that. It's going to reset itself, and we'll be back around here in just a little bit. At this time, and actually we have two cameras messing up. The one that normally is on the audience is not working either. Definitely have to work on this. But at this time, we do have audience participation. I do not know if we have anybody in the audience that would like to speak. We do have Council Rule 21 that limits each speaker to a 5-minute presentation, total of 15 minutes per subject. If you get to the 5 minutes, I will give you an indication that you've used up your time, so you can summarize whatever your presentation is. Do we have anybody in the audience who would like to speak this evening? Not seeing anybody. We'll move forward to old business. Does anybody have any old business they'd like to bring up at this time? Yes, Ms. Fairchild.
If I could, I'd like to ask a question about an ordinance that we passed earlier this year about Cherry Street, and see if Director Carmen happens to know when, approximate date that will be switched.
Yeah, we reached out last week to have it oops so we could put the signs in the ground.
Okay.
When we oops comes and does that, then what we'll do is a press release. I'm hoping to do it here in the next week or two to get it switched over.
Okay. Will that be like an overnight thing, like press release go out in the next morning?
Well, I'd like to do about a week of press releases on it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, and then we'll make the switch.
Thank you. I just have not seen it done before, so I just want to know what I need to be prepared for.
Chaos.
It's very critical now.
Hopefully it'll be organized chaos though.
It'll be fabulous.
It's gonna be a first for everybody.
I'll probably be the first car to go down backwards going, I forgot.
Put your reverse lights on, you'll be good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other old business? Yes, Ms. Patrick?
I just had a question, I guess, for administration. We're halfway through the year, and I know we were waiting to see how things fell with the contracts and hiring more officers.
Yeah.
And do we need to just request a committee assignment to go ahead and do that?
No. So 2 things. One is fire just voted on theirs, right? They are voting.
There was an agreement and they're voting tomorrow.
So that'll come in front of council post haste. And within the last 2 weeks, I asked Chief Washburn to give me a prioritized list of requests. He has done that. His top priority is 1 full and 1 part-time dispatcher. His second priority is officer staffing. And then I think his third priority is adding a 7th detective. And so my plan is to present that to council as a full assignment so the council can work through it and balance all the costs instead of saying dispatchers, then officers, then detective. The other sort of item that could potentially impact the whole thing, which is, I believe, been reported on the paper, is that the city school district is interested in adding resource officers. And that is something that would impact our staffing. And the impact on our budget is unclear right now. And so I don't want to put us in a position where we overextend ourselves and have to draw back. But Chief Washburn did give that to me, and I think that's the best way to address the whole deal.
So within the next month?
Oh yeah, I think the resource officer issue needs to be addressed very quickly because school will start up. I think it's something the committee assignment request might happen this week. I just don't know how quickly we will have all the answers we need. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah. And if I may, I forgot to mention that our live in-person citywide auction is this Saturday at 10 a.m. unless somebody corrects me. And that will be our bigger items. Our smaller items are online right now. So that's the live city auction, basically vehicles and other larger items this coming Saturday. Sorry about that.
And the other items are through the price
Yeah,
auction?
yeah, and the web address, I can probably look it up and have it to you before the end of the week.
Okay. Ohio auctions or something.
I think, yeah, it's something pretty
Yeah,
easily rememberable.
yeah. Ohio online auctions, okay.
A lot of directors been shopping for some used Crampix.
Right, right. Who's lighting?
I'm bringing back the Blues Brothers.
Any other old business that anybody would like to bring up? Petitions and correspondence received by report.
Mr. President, I have no new petitions or correspondence. I just, as a reminder, the public hearings on the two items that need public hearings will be scheduled for July the 23rd at 7:30 p.m.
Okay. Okay, very good, thank you. Any new business anybody has? Yes, Ms. Colton.
Yes, I'd just like to remind the parents that we have Art in the Park. And the first one will be this Thursday, 6/14, and that will be held at Poland Park, ages 5 to 12, accompanied by a parent or a sitter. And it will be from 11 a.m. to noon.
Nice.
And these will be traveling to different parks throughout the summer, and they'll be doing things, crafts, music, dance, nature walks. So the first one is this Friday at Poland Park.
Good deal.
And again, that time is 11?
11 to noon.
So it's only 1 hour?
Yes, and it's free.
Okay, that's good. I can remember growing up at Bowling Park and having all kinds of stuff going on down there. It was great. Any other new business? Not seeing any. Committee meetings and assignments. As you heard, City Services will meet here next Monday at 6:30. The nuisance meeting is tomorrow. Sounds like that's a busy thing going on. And not to again mention that the 989 Western Avenue is not going to be on the agenda Wednesday, although there are some other items, and it's going to be held here in council chambers instead of across the street in the administration building. As far as assignments, we really, again, I've had kind of a slow period the last couple of weeks. I only have 3. One is on tonight's agenda, which is a request for legislation to appropriate $29,290 for a new pump on well 22. Request for legislation to appropriate $15,100 from various accounts to pay for heating and cooling repairs and updates at a couple, I think there's three or four different locations, three different locations for heating and cooling repairs and also updates. And to the Finance Committee, request for legislation to appropriate. I made this request for $800 for council advertising expenses, but talking with Mr. Fawson prior to this meeting, that might need to be changed. We're getting a lot of expenses that's going with these public hearings that are coming up, and in the past, there's been not a provision for paying for these, so we're going to get that straightened out and get a provision for being able to pay for these. So, and that's all that we've had for assignments over the last 2 weeks. And with that, we move on to our legislation. So, whenever you're ready, Mr. Fawson, item number 1.
Third reading of an ordinance acknowledging and granting continued use of an encroachment on the public right-of-way easement to Teresa Lynn Reinhardt and her successors in interest for a garage as currently constructed at 497 North High Street, Chillicothe, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Roll call on that legislation.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Fairchild.
No.
Florima.
Yes.
Hines.
No.
Kearney.
No.
Neal.
Yes.
No.
Patrick. Kroll.
No.
Tatman.
Yes.
That failed 5-4.
Okay. And that is off our agenda. Item number 2.
Second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 1179.08 General Requirements, Permanent Signs of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Chillicothe, Ohio. Second reading.
And we'll move on to the next meeting. Item number 3.
Second reading of an ordinance approving the action of the Planning Commission of the City of Chillicothe in rezoning property located at 456 Western Avenue, Chillicothe, Ohio, from residential office to general commercial. Second reading.
And that will move on, and that is pending a public hearing. Item number 4.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating funds in the amount of $29,290 for a new pump and motor for well number 22 and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Ms. Patrick.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the 3-read rule.
I have a motion to waive the 3-read rule, second by Mr. Florima. Roll call on that motion.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Fairchild.
Yes.
Florima.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
That motion is passed. Roll call on the legislation, please.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Fairchild.
Yes.
Florima.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
And that ordinance has passed. And last, item number 5.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating $27,706 for the purchase of the Millennium Grove Shelter and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Ms. Corcoran,
Yes, President Arnold, I would like to ask that this time we waive the 3-read rule.
I have a motion to waive the 3-read rule, seconded by Ms. Patrick. Roll call on that motion.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Fairchild.
Yes.
Florima.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
And that motion has passed. Roll call on the legislation.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Fairchild.
Yes.
Florima.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
And that ordinance has passed. Unless anybody has anything to add for this evening, Yes, Mr. Mayor Feeney?
AuctionOhio.com.
AuctionOhio.com.
There you go.
Buy a piece of the city.
Right.
Everybody should have something from the city. Mr. Flynn, your hands in the air for a motion to adjourn?
Yes, sir.
And it is seconded by Ms. Fairchild. Roll call on the motion to adjourn.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Fairchild.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Kearney.
Yes.
Neal.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Kroll.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody, and have a great evening.